Hey, what's good, everybody? So, I already spoke a lot on the balance patch yesterday and how it affected Ken, but I didn't actually, take the time to sit down too much to lab everything out because it was like 1 a.m. and stuff now. I was extremely tired. I still pretty much agree with everything I said about like how the balance patch was overall, and I'm pretty sure everybody still feels the same way or are probably waking up and already getting their like first-hand reaction to everything. I still think something else should have been done differently in order to make Ken, like, don't get me wrong, the crouching medium punch, which I'm going to show you guys right now, what I'm going to show you, is actually pretty good, even more so than you would be able to see just by reading it on paper, right? But I still am hoping in the future like they do something more for his other tools in neutral, right? But for this video, we're just going to be talking about the crouching medium punch, right? Because I actually really underestimated the difference it actually makes, and actually taking these things that I labbed out in the practice in a live match, it actually did do it actually has won me games, by a hair, by like a couple hairs and stuff, or put me in a situation where I was able to save the meter because of, the small little buffs to damage that Ken actually got by being able to, string these two buttons together now, right? And even by labbing some things out in the lab, I see what's possible, out of the character. And technically, in a way, I did get what I wanted by getting a damage buff increase, Maybe not directly, but it is there, right? But I also noticed that some people were saying that they weren't able to really link those two together after a punish counter. Like, normally a punish counter, a meterless punish string would look like this on a character, right? That's what it normally was for the entire time. And it still is the more meta thing to do, right? But, because of the buff, on paper, you should be able to link these two together now, right? However, as you can see here, even against a big character like Zangief, he's not actually able to string these two together, right? Which I think it's a shame, and honestly, it doesn't really make sense why he can't do that if he is close enough. But I figured out that in order to get these two to link together from that string, it has to come after a drive rush enhancement, right? So, take a look at this. So as you can see, you actually are able to string it after a drive rush cancel. And this is where I noticed that this is what Capcom wanted these strings to be used for. In order to make his more meter dump combos do more damage and stuff, I still wish you were able to like string this meterlessly. It actually makes no sense as to why, you still can't do that. Because being able to do this may look cool and all, but it's 2700 versus, 3K, right? So honestly, there's like the buff on some areas still doesn't really help much at all. But it is like, don't get me wrong, this still has its use in other situations, right? Like now being able to like poke out here, meterlessly, have it connect and do that does feel good and stuff. I've actually put that into practice in actual like ranked matches and stuff. So I also wanted to show you guys like what's possible because of this now too. Look at the damage output. 62%, right? Normally that combo would not do 60, like it would barely be over like 6k, right? And that was from a punish counter meaty overhead, right? But let me show you guys just what normally would happen in a regular match. That does 6k now. Before it would do at most like 58, 55%, depending on whether or not Ken has CA or level 3. Point is that the buffs are there, you know, like he is doing a lot more, well, I won't say a lot more, but he is doing slightly more damage, which I think it's a right step in it's a good step in the right direction, right? I still think his fireball is still ass and stuff, but there is a lot more to explore now with Ken, or at least it makes some of his other things a lot more better for execution, right? Like being able to do this also pretty mindlessly. Like it's really not hard to get that. Like before, you had to be very specific with where you cancel bleeds in order to be able to link this together, right? But now without even trying, I can link those two together, right? Which, you know, it's pretty much all just for sauce, to be honest, in my opinion. I don't really use it, but it's something to note for a lot of you guys, right? Like before, that would be like a 1 frame link, but now they actually open the window up, so that's actually easier to do, you know? And so far, this alone had not really done much to me. I actually did lose a round because I wasn't able to link standing light kick from that. I hate that so much. I'm already starting to get affected by that shit, so... But I can't lie, the crouching medium punch buffs do feel great. And I just wanted to show you guys like what's kind of been up with like this shit, you know. Look at how much that does. 63%, right? It's still a very specific combo that you'd have to lab out to know which supers will be able to get you that, because as you can see, the total frames for that is 40, so you really only can get that kind of punish after like the opponent whiffs a level 3. So just keep all that in mind, like what it takes to get access to that kind of damage for Ken at least. And what I did include in that specific combo right there towards the end was a micro walk, so there is a bit more of an execution wall to go over if you want to get that kind of damage either. But I mean, overall, like, I have been noticing that there is a lot that it has been a lot more easier to close out the round because of the indirect damage buff that Ken got. So that's just something I wanted to share. I don't know what you guys will think of it. I still think he needs a lot of tweaking on his fireballs and Dragon Lash, and you know, from there I'd be fine. Like, Ken would probably never need to be touched again, you know, in my opinion, of course. But you guys may feel differently. I've already heard some other people saying that, like, Ken, like, another streamer and YouTuber had said, like, Ken was a winner. I fairly disagree with that, but, you know, to each their own, right? So, I'm gonna get up on out of here. I'm hoping you guys enjoy kind of, you know, this shit right here. I usually don't do it, but I feel like for the one time, like, why not, you know? So, yeah. This is Infinite 47, and I'll be seeing y'all around. Peace.